Hello everybody, today we are going to talk about the ITA Screen mod from Phonic playing for the Game Boy Advance. The whole kit, I got it and I assembled it myself. I finally got the courage to get a soldering iron, start learning a little bit, watch some videos. To be honest, the videos were not like insanely helpful, but it reassured me in my head that what I'm doing is right. The end result is fantastic. It's really what I wanted. And what happened really was that I was an idiot, and when I took my Game Boy with me in bed, I ended up sleeping with my head on top of it, and somehow my drool, like a homing missile, destroyed the ribbon cable. Uh, like I laughed when I realized what happened when I opened the Game Boy, and I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Skill issue, so I just have to deal with it. And I had a bad experience with getting a modded IPS from sellers here in Australia. I'm not gonna say who because I don't know if it was just a slip this time. But the Game Boy that I got was not even cleaned. Um, the the switch, which is really one of the first problems that you get, was really not well. Like my battery will show like almost a month later it will start showing signs of that. So maybe it was unlucky for him, I don't know, but there was not really much effort. I saw the cable work later, and I did better my first time from that. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe as a business, when you do this kind of thing, is different, but it was not great experience. Now, that was the reason that I wanted to do the mod again on my own, and not only that, because I also wanted to pick up soldering so I can maybe be able to do retro mods and other stuff. Because soldering is like, even for the coolest thing, you may not need to have the skills, like insane skills in soldering, but you just have to be able to understand some basic things. And this is pretty much what it is. Like, it was not hard to do. I didn't have to like do special training, all of that. I just did it 2-3 times on a training mode, and then I immediately just picked it up and starting experimenting. Now, that is my experience. I'm definitely not a genius at these kind of things, but I just watched enough videos to understand hand positioning and all of that. I also got helping hands, which definitely helped a lot to be able to have everything on one place. Now, the reason I went this time for an ITA screen, you may ask, if you didn't get it from the gameplay, let's see what's the difference with an IPS. So this here, what you see, hopefully if you're on a phone, you probably won't be able to tell, like if you really look, unless you're looking for this, you can't really look at it. This was something that started occurring to me after I saw it a couple of times. So yeah, like this is the screenshot from the analog, and this is what you get like directly from an IPS screen. This is very similar to what you may get from an emulation kind of thing with no filters. And this is what you get using the ITA mode. Now, you may look at this picture now and not really able to tell much, to be honest, because like who can really blame you for that? Let me just try to put it side by side and see if we can do well something here. Let me just see here. Whoop. Yeah. Let me just see if this helps. I think it's pretty evident that like the one is more like has that grid kind of like thing, and it helps like to be able to look like some of the pixels, they're more crunchy, they're better looking, right? And that is pretty much the reason that I wanted to do the ITA mod, because what is an ITA mod? It is the bottom screen of the DSi. Now, is it the DSi XL? Is it the normal DSi? I don't know. But every time I hear anyone talk about Nintendo DS, everyone will rave about how good is the DSi screen. And let me tell you, like after seeing the difference here, definitely, like for me, this makes a lot more sense. And this is closer to what it should be, right? This is closer to what the Game Boy Advance in general looks like. The 8GB 101. Of course, here you have more options for like how bright you can go. I have ordered a screen that is an 8GB screen, and you will be able to see 8GB 101. And you will be able to see the difference here if you are interested in this mod, and if you have that Game Boy Advance SP with the 8GB 101. I will try to have them head to head if you can see any difference. For me, this looks fantastic enough, but the Game Boy Advance has so vast library and so cool that you can play the Game Boy games before and all of that. So it is really cool that you can see what you can do. And you can really see the magic here of what the screen can bring with this specific game, Fire Emblem 7, because it brings those amazing pixel art to life. Like you can really see with these animations how good it looks with this specific modification. Now, there are other things that we need to talk about this modification because it was not easy, but it had some things that you have to do. Like you cannot really, unless you really are confident that you can trim some stuff, you cannot really do it without buying their own cell. So I had to change the cell. And to be honest, I had to, because the previous one of the reasons that I said I wanted to do this on my own is because the more I was disassembling my previous GBA, stuff like this will just fell off from the cell, and it was really annoying to deal with. Yeah, I didn't want to deal with something like that again. It was really annoying that I bought something with money and it felt like this is not it. It's like I felt like someone who did really sloppy work, and I just had to get it right. I took the L, and it is what it is. But yeah, overall, that is what happened. Now, let's talk about this one. So, when I started with this specifically, I got some things like the amount of money that I paid around for everything, it was around $100. Now, I know, you're gonna look at me and you'll be like, maybe you should have gotten it from someone else. But the situation here is not just for me, because like, yeah, sure, you pay for all this stuff because they're gonna last for a while, first of all. But it's not just because you get the stuff that will last for a while. It is also that you will be able to do more modifications later on. I have really a lot of interest to be able to do USB-C on my DS and stuff like that. Even though I have some things that work for that reason, I want to see if I'm able to do it. It's something that I want to be able to learn. For example, like getting my PS4 controller and switching that stupid micro USB to a USB-C, because I really love the DualShock 4. So stuff like that, I want to be able to do it, not just to be able to do it, but to be able to preserve what retro stuff I have also in the future. Like if I need to change even the battery on my Metroid Fusion, I will need to be able to get it from there, get the battery off, put it back on, and that's it, right? And that's pretty much what this is about. So, I started doing this thing. It was not really that hard. I just used a lot, like the helping hands was really a lot of help, because they have also the specific ones I got. They had also a microscope. Let me show you if I can show you how it looks. It looks so ridiculous, but I got this for like $20 and it was really helpful. You have like the helping hands, you have like a light on top of you. This is important because you want to be able to see the board, and you have like the magnifying glass here that it's not really Microsoft, it's just magnifying glass, and you are able to see those tiny little things here. Sure, in the screen you see them, in the people that are doing the mods, you see them do all those stuff, but believe me, when you get to do this on your own, everything looks super tiny. Now when you get used to it, a lot of people can do this even without magnifying glass and stuff like this. I wouldn't suggest that for the first time, and maybe this wiring was a sloppy job. I don't know, it was my first time. I didn't try to trim them because I was not sure if I can do a good job to that too. And I just wanted to make it work, first of all. So this is what I really did. Then I cleaned off the flags. I think the photo is before I cleaned off the flags. But in general, this is what happened. It was not really hard to do, and also didn't really need much time. That was also the thing. Like, you just follow a tutorial. By the way, shout outs to your cool uncle Marisa. I saw her tutorial. It was very cool, and she makes a lot of cool GBA content. You can check it out. And I will leave the tutorial that I followed in the description. I had also the 40 pin situation. So I had to remove a capacitor to move it a little bit outside, and I did that. That was actually the hardest part, because I had to also get tweezers, and it was not easy to hold a small component like that, especially that was the first thing I ever did. And I did a little things like with a board before. I tried to use the same type of capacitor and move it around. So I learned from there, and I went to the Game Boy. I already knew what I had to do. I think the Game Boy one had a little bit bigger capacitor, so it was not really a problem. Now, I might say capacitor, but I'm not sure if that was the case. I think they call it CMD. I don't know all these parts. All I know is I moved the C54 and I put a little bit up, and I soldered it again later on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, you don't have to be super technical about this kind of stuff. You watch some tutorials, you have to understand what you're doing a little bit, but that's pretty much it. And I changed also, one of the biggest things that I would suggest anyone to do is to be able to get these kind of batteries. Specifically, if you want the best kind of battery life, I guess, Eneloop Pro. Now, this is 1.2 volts, so maybe there is a little bit misreading sometimes with the red battery. You may not get it in time. You may not get it how it's supposed to be. But the battery lasts a long time, like almost 8 hours I have been running this, and still hasn't turned off, so that's good. And overall, they're rechargeable, they're pretty good quality, and I think most of the people that, because I was tempted to use this, but I don't know. I feel like this is way more dangerous to keep using. Although the USB-C and all of that is pretty cool, I feel more safe with the double A's, to be honest. But that's just me. That doesn't have to be you. Yeah, that's pretty much the video. I hope you had fun and you were able to see like a little bit of what I'm trying to see here, what I was trying to create. The only bad side from this is that there was not really too much of selection on the colors or what you can get for the cell. I got it from AliExpress and it came super fast. It came like in a week. So I was really happy with that, and it came even on the Easter Monday, which I really appreciate as well. So yeah, that was me. Super happy with this, no problems at all. And I would suggest anyone to do this. I would suggest anyone to get the courage to start opening their device, especially if you're doing like retro stuff, or if you care about controllers and modifications in general, stuff like this, because it is very important to be able to understand and to be able to preserve your own stuff, because it's cool. Unless you have a lot of money and you don't really care, you just get the modification from someone else, that's fine. But I think it's really important to be able to do this stuff on your own, Maybe this is something like a boomer kind of thing that you get later on in life. I'm like, now this year gonna be 32. And because we got a house, I started learning a lot of DIY that I didn't know. There was no reason to do them before. I just ignored things that didn't work. But now that you like own my own house is different because I have to care for everything, right? I have to be able to do some stuff, not just call a guy all the time. Uh, so yeah, like to be able to understand and take care of my own house. And this is really the situation. This is one of the reasons I picked up soldering, is because it's a universal skill. You could need it for the simplest thing here. You could be needing it to fix a camera. You could be needing it to fix anything else. Or maybe you don't need it at all. Like, maybe you just don't need it at all. Maybe you don't really need it, but I'm making this up on myself. But I don't know. Maybe it's copy, maybe it's not. Let me know in the comments. This video went a little bit bigger than I thought, but yeah. Hope you had fun regardless. See you next time. Bye.